Sunday, everybody. My name is Tim.
And my name is Terry.
And today we're going to talk about thorns. I'm an addictions counselor.
And I'm a MSW.
Yeah. So, Terry, I think it was your topic, which is a wonderful topic because thorns are pretty much a great way to explain what these things are that keep making us so uncomfortable and just once they lodge in, they're there until we do something. So what made you pick that topic, or how would you like to begin?
Well, I would like to begin by kind of identifying thorns. You know, what are they, and like Tim said, how do they start? And I came about the topic because I was running one morning and I was thinking about topics, and I kind of recalled planting a really cute pink flower and thinking it was going to be low maintenance, and it seemed really appealing and easy, and then I kind of forgot about it, and I went to trim it, and the whole thing had become a big giant thorn bush. And it kind of led me to thinking about how thorns end up in our life, and it's really, they start out as something that seems like it's going to be a feel-good. It's just going to be a one-time thing. It's something that may not start out as what's going to become a painful experience, and it's usually trying to fulfill some need that we have. So, Tim, do you want to talk about what we do when we identify a thorn?
Well, these thorns, you know, they come to us and they stick to us, I believe, through unhealthy needs, through unhealthy wants. So before the thorn is lodged, you know, we don't see it like Terry was explaining. You know, initially we see the external appearance, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's going to warn us or show us what the internal reality is. So we're attracted to this external appearance in type of a reactive way. So we really never think about why we need this need fulfilled. So we go into it already with a dysfunctional thought. If it's not dysfunctional, I haven't really challenged the motive behind my thinking.
Yeah, so how do you do that? Where do you begin? And again, it could be something that you thought was just going to be okay to do at one time, or a person in your life that you thought was going to be helpful, and then over time it becomes something that you don't know what to do about it, and it's become out of control. So really the first thing that you can do is identify that it's become a thorn in your life. It's become something that's causing pain. It's something that you can't remove. It's like that saying, there's a thorn in my side, right? And it's there, it's constantly affecting you. And really identify that you have something like that, and then surrender it. So you want to talk about surrendering, Tim, since you work with a lot of people that are doing that exact thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't surrender until I identify. You know, unfortunately, it takes a while to identify because I can't identify with the thorn, I can't identify with the irritation until it starts to take effect. So thorns, you know, are just like splinters. You know how you get a splinter and you'd always just rub your finger and you rub it and it gets worse and worse over time. A thorn is the same way, and until that thorn gets to a particular level of irritation, I don't know how to identify. But when I do identify, then I can see a lot more than I could see going into, say, being attracted by the external appearance. So once I identify, then we can move into the surrender stage. And surrender, you know, a lot of people think, oh, I'm weak and I'm all this. It's not about that. Surrendering is about a respectful process to self. When I surrender, it's a matter of respect for myself. So I surrender to what's not serving me well. Not that I'm weak, not that I'm, you know, different or anything. I'm surrendering to not serving me well, and it's a necessity before I can move down.
Yeah, and then the next thing is sharing that. So surrendering it just to yourself and admitting that, you know, there's something that you need to take care of. And sharing it with somebody that you trust, you know, whether it's, I guess, to give some examples of how you would share that and what that gives you, sharing that with somebody else.
Well, you know, it's a great question, Terry. By the time I get even down to this third level of identifying and then surrender and share, I'm already hopefully already involved with somebody that's helping me see it in a different way. I would suggest, I know Terry would too, if you're identifying with what we're talking about right now, these thorns, sort of say, these thorns are setting me up. How am I going to be? How I'm going to allow myself to be treated? I need to share this. Human beings are social creatures. That's what we're designed to do. We're designed to feel. We're designed to love. We're designed to socialize amongst ourselves. But these thorns come into our life because one of the big things that I run into a lot is a lot of people are taught not to share. What's said in this house stays in this house and all that. Nobody acknowledges nothing, and everybody wonders why everybody's walking around on eggshells.
True. And as you were saying that, I was just thinking about, the thorns are usually a feel-good, something to take away pain, something to numb something else that happened that you don't really want to think about. But then, you were just touching on taking action. So, that's the hard part. A lot of us can identify, yeah, we've got stuff, but it's too hard to admit. It's too hard to tell anybody, and it's definitely too hard to change my habits, change my behaviors, really change my whole life in some instances. So there's all kinds of different ways that you would take action depending on what your thorn is, right? Is it a substance? Is it toxic relationships? Are you a workaholic? Are you, an eating disorder? Are you just closed off and not growing in your life? It could be so many different things. So taking action is really kind of individual. Would you agree on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we took action in the first place to seek this comfort. We took this action to console ourselves, whether it was through being consumed by others, in a relationship or whatever the case may be. I took action to fill this hole, but in this action, I didn't realize the motive behind the action. So if I have a thorn, this action was derived or driven by all the inappropriate ways to say sort of apply something, right? Action is application. So if I applied all this application, all this energy in the beginning, and I've gotten the thorn, then I need to take the appropriate action and then take action in just another direction. So I can either take the action to receive another thorn, or I can take the action and implement that same discipline, so to say, to get rid of the thorn, to remove the thorn.
And again, it's a process, right? Changing our habits, changing our attitudes, our emotional state, it's going to take time. So it's kind of that whole one day at a time process. Because your goal is, to get back to this, right? The beautiful flower that is in there. Maybe a tiny little thorn left. But basically, to get back to your joy and happiness in life, because
you're so worth it.